Hey, welcome back to Cemetery Scout. Now, you might be wondering why I'm starting this video walking down a road instead of squatting next to a grave like normal. And the reason for that is because we have reached the first cemetery on the list that is not easily accessible. All the ones we've gone to so far have basically been like right next to a road. I can just park and just get right into the cemetery and get filming. This one is the first of many that are not like that. This one is behind somebody's house, a few thousand feet away from the nearest road, just kind of in the middle of the woods. And I know that there's an overgrown road that should supposedly take you right to it. I'm hoping walking down that road doesn't count as trespassing, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I think we're in luck because here's the road right here. And if you look, it looks like they added a historical cemetery sign right here, which means I think that it won't be trespassing if I go down this chained off road right here, but we'll find out. Okay, well, I definitely just basically walked through somebody's backyard, but I don't think anyone was home. Nobody saw me, and I didn't see any no trespassing signs, so I think it's fine for me to be on this road. Okay, the cemetery is definitely not 2,000 feet away from the road because I made it up to it already, but Jesus, this one definitely has not had very much love. Even just look at the sign here, look how old it is. Most of the other ones are look like they're in a lot better condition than this one. Check it out. There's no enclosure around the cemetery at all. It's just a bunch of loose graves kind of intermingled with all these trees. If you kind of swoop around to behind the cemetery, you can see there's basically this little like ocean, river, probably brackish water, little inlet thing right here. Like a salt marsh maybe. And the cemetery is on pretty much the only like raised ground in this little area back here. Okay, so I guess because the cemetery is a little bit more underappreciated than the others in the area, and maybe because it's a bit harder to get to than some of the others, I wasn't able to find a whole ton of information on the people buried here. But I was able to find out about this lady right here, Renew Carpenter. Now, this cemetery I'm in right here, Knockum Hill, is the oldest cemetery in Barrington. And that grave right there is the oldest grave in the cemetery. Meaning that right there is the oldest grave in Barrington, Rhode Island. Renew died way back in 1703. All right, so I've been kind of wandering around here for a while, and I don't think I'm gonna find it, probably because it's one of the graves with the inscription pretty much completely rubbed off. But there's a member of the Bosworth family buried here, which if you've been watching my videos, you probably know who the Bosworths are. And I found out that this particular Bosworth, John Bosworth, is actually the grandchild of a couple that came over on the Mayflower, which should really give you a good idea of just how ancient this cemetery is. Okay, so I think that's gonna be it for this episode. I'm sorry there's not a whole ton to talk about in this one. I guess this episode is more about just kind of the weird location of the cemetery rather than the people that are buried here. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I'm gonna get out of here before the people whose backyard I walked through get back home.